Okay, スキブリおはようございまする。So, 今日のテーマはね、何のテーマですか? What theme are we talking? Great question. It's like slightly off in the position. There we go. Should be a little better. それやな、皆さん. So, I am going to be an officiant. Second wedding of my life. As an officiant. And, yeah, I've just been thinking about it. So this time, I'm going to do it slightly differently. I mean, it's a different couple, so there is a different vibe, a different energy. But I do want to set intention, set energy. That I'm finding is really important. Because right now, my job, the energy is not right. The energy is wrong. Is it my fault? Is it the job's fault? Is it both? I'm seeing the mismatch in energy and values can affect the job. And I guess at the end of the day, the job can be done either way, right? Regardless of the job. Because my friends who I'm marrying, they're, how do you say, the el doctores, the isha desu ne. And talking to them, it's kind of like, wait a minute, the same problems I'm having with my coworkers in this blue-collar warehouse are actually the same exact problems people are having as doctors, as lawyers, as any job. And we're like, wait a minute. You know, in my head, I was like, oh, wait, like, I guess you have the thought that certain jobs might be different, right? Depending on you, because you're going to school more, whether that's grad school for, like, right, you're talking, let's say you PhD, like my senpai who was biology for research, but then you have to deal with that all other kind of stuff, and either way you are dealing with egos. Key takeaway from this last weekend, I saw Hamilton with my friends who I'm marrying, and they gracefully had an extra ticket, and they extended me and Mochi the invite. So that was very cool. But you're like, okay, Kov, like, what does Hamilton have to do with you? Everything. Well, I'm going to take my shot right now. And basically, I was watching the movie and was thinking, like, wow, the human ego, wow, what a powerful thing. During the whole play, because if any of the characters had a different view or a different ego or didn't have an ego, different choices would have been made. Things would have gone differently. And that to me is very interesting. Right? If Hamilton or Burr, either of them had not been so like trapped in their ego, it may not have happened as it did. Hamilton may not have taken as many steps to, right. Burr would not have been offended. But all of these things is basically everywhere in history. And the stories we're told, like in Hamilton, are just what's been passed down. Because, like, the actual story, we don't really know exactly how things went for any history. So I think that was also an interesting point, that the stories are written by the history. The stories of history are written by the victors. In One Piece, there's actually it's called the Void Century. So 800 years ago, for the present of the story, there was a century of who knows what happened, which is very interesting if there was such a thing in the real world, that, right, there was a century of history that was erased for whatever reason. On the same token, there's definitely history we might not ever know because it just wasn't passed down, or they just didn't want the stories told. With Hamilton, it kind of does come down to that story. It's interesting to me, the frailty of the ego, but also the power of the ego, and someone like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, who is so rooted in it that they're able to push forward a company. My perspective is, I'm more Japanese for sure, that I'm much more very pragmatic on my thinking, very like, how do I show up? That it's more based on the group. kind of that. I'm not as ego-driven as my younger self. My younger self was much more like, I gotta do this for me. I'm building my company. I'm doing this because I want to do it. Now I don't really care. I'm just like, well, whatever. Like, who cares? Dealing with creating batteries. So back to the efficient funsies. I'm very excited to set attention for this wedding, to share some stories. I can definitely see some fun laughs, talking about my friend, their story, how they met, what their intention is. I think that's like how we met. I think that's kind of fun stuff and important. Celebration of friendship with life. Important things to, remember, not forget. There's a One Piece quote, "When does a man die? When he is forgotten." Well, that one is like one of the ones, like, there's many quotes, but I think that's a very applicable one. So just anything. It's kind of back to stories of Hamilton, like, right, when does Hamilton die? Well, I mean, not anytime soon. He's not going to be forgotten. And 10 years of the play. Very interesting to take on history with rapping and a more dramatized story. So that was a very entertaining watch. So very grateful for that time. And then afterwards we had dinner, and I talked with my friend's kid, and we talked about designing dragons. Yes, very detailed. My friend's son was very into designing dragons, so we both designed dragons. Very detailed too, very, very particular. How big is it? Fly? Does it swim? How many wings? How many heads? What kind of breath? Does it have any additional abilities? I think it was very fun. This is a good a 9-year-old, right? So like the imagination at that age was very refreshing in a way. I feel with a lot of my conversations with adults, they just kind of stop, or there's not that fun. With adults, I would say more playful, and with kids, more curiosity, or just there's no additional element because they're not hardened by the world, or it's just how the natural state of the mind. Very interesting. Oh! You're like, oh no, he's going on one of his rants and raves. Okay, rant and rave. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I went to play some Pokemans, which the way the company treats us is pretty bad. So they advertised an increased shiny rate, but realistically it was not. And there is complaints about that. There is talk in the community if this is on purpose or not. I can see it either way. It's very diabolical if it is, because people are going to rate this hard. The bigger thing was these two, they each had a specific move that makes them really good. The Algan Palkia. And the move if you want it, you want the move, because if you're doing the PvP, the move is like of the utmost importance. It's just you need it. Also, these moves do have an in-game effect. One of them freezes like the timer on like your stuff, so it lasts longer. The other one can increase your spawn rate. But that one I would use more. I think it's very helpful. But the move wasn't guaranteed. Wasn't guaranteed! What nonsense is this? Because, right, the move is like the main thing you want. And furthermore, Hinswift, if you got a shiny, the move not guaranteed. My friend got a shiny of each, no move. Like, eesh. And you can't even, so there is a TM, so these are items in the game you can use to change a move. So there are 2 special TMs that you can usually use to get any move the Pokemon could learn. Not these, not allowed. Which is like real pain in the ass, because it's like, look, we're just trying to like play a game and like, have fun. And you're like not giving us, like, if you just gave it a window during the event, like, hey, you can TM any of these guys to have the move, great. Like, that's how it should be. It should be like you're able to get as you need it, but not the case. But back to the story. I'm telling the story. So we played the game. I ended up getting one shiny out of like 40 odd raids, which is like honestly pretty low because usually the legendaries are like 1 in 20, like best case, which that's like pretty like right. You can pretty much control for those odds. Right, you could still do like 40 raids, like, and people are like, I did 80 raids, I got nothing. It's like, well, I mean, that's RNG. But afterwards, I was gonna, meet my friend, and we're gonna do some trades and hang out at his place. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go to my old Starbucks because I had some tips there. I know how I still had tips. I don't know. I collected tips once, and my old manager messaged me like, "Hello, Clove, Mr. Clove, we got some tips for you. We still got them over here down the wall. Got them, come on, boy." I know that's my my manager voice. So there I go, and I see my friend Tatum and my cousin Diana, and we were just like, "Oh, hello there." So I got the tips, got my drink. And then outside in the car was two of my old friends from Starbucks, who I haven't seen in over a year. Two brothers who had come in. But funny enough, the universe had plans for us to meet up because John and Bill were like, "Yeah, we don't really come here anymore." I was like, "Oh, you don't really come here anymore?" And I'm here. What are the odds? They're like, the big man upstairs, he's got plans for us. I know, now we're like Jewish rabbis. He's got plans for us. We're going to make it talk. And we talked a little bit. I was like, I know, let's go talking to you. They're like, we still got your number. You gave us the card as you do. Very kind of you. Very nice. Very good. I don't know why I just go into rabbi mode. Maybe I'll be a rabbi one day. Oh, no, 20 years. Rabbi Adam, now you're Jewish. Mazel tov, l'chaim. But, anywho, we got, we were just chatting. It was like, it's cool. Like, one time I remember I missed the Rayquaza Mega rating, and like, I was like, fuck, because I already had like 2. I had enough energies. My ult doesn't have it, but, whatever. I mean, my friend's account, who I happened to play for because he was a very busy guy with golf. Zen, we were just talking, and we had chatted one time. It was definitely a good like hour or 2 on philosophy in like the Starbucks lobby. Those random human interactions I really miss, or like I briefly talked with my 2 friends who I mentioned, and like the fun of like working at Starbucks versus like this warehouse job where there's no fun. My friend kind of just like sucks the fun out of it. I think everything has to be in his control somehow. And that's very interesting. That's I guess classic blue collar, or someone who hasn't done work or is aware. Awareness is just a different like point. Is what it is. Anywho's, there I was, and I was like, wow, what a gift for me. And then we did some trades with my friend. Had these crack cookies from French Workshop, a little pizza. We're watching a little bit of baseball. I don't really watch baseball like OD, but it was fun, and we talked a little bit about some Japanese baseball, which involves Japan. I'm your guy. I love Japan. There was this guy from like the 70s we talked about, a really good player. I forget his name, but now I know this guy existed. I'm doing a Mets game next Monday for a Pokemon sesh. It's hey. So I'm excited to be in fishing again. Have a nice little probably 20-ish minutes or so of just like doing the whole ceremony and all that. Maybe half an hour, I don't know, because it depends. Like, right, designing a ceremony, it's kind of fun because the couple, any case, you pick. If you want a certain readings, you don't have to do religious stuff. You could pick, hey, like, we like this poem, we like this. You could have people make speeches, add little points, whatever you want, which I think is a really nice way to have a personal touch to a wedding, because fuck having it in a church. Like, although I am pretty devious, if I ever get married, I might hire an actors to do nonsense. I saw a reel where they hired this woman to like be like an ex-lover. That was so funny because I saw the first reel, and later the algorithm brought me the one where they're like, actually, we hired this woman to be like a plant. I was like, oh. Or in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, she hires dancers to dance like the Jewish dance at her at the wedding. Like that scene is like it's cracked. It is. And The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That show, of the recent shows I've watched, I really enjoyed that. Like if you like that, like flow and ebb of energy, that is me. So there you have that. Uh, if you're at my wedding ever, if I do get married, you know exactly what to look out for. Like, why are these guys dancing so good? I don't know. Friends from the old days. Friends from Japan. How would you know? Or I just like hire some lady with Japanese kids and be like, Oto-san! Oto-san! They'd be like, oh my god, he has kids visiting from Japan? How did they find out? That'd be so funny. That would be so... but these kind of things are more of like up to the person who's like in charge of the wedding to do. But you can see my tricksy kind of vibe is very very fun, as the kids say. Yeah, I don't really like my current job. The vibe is just not there. I'm tired of like accommodating people's energy. Tired of giving good energy and just people being like blah blah. I'm creating these boundaries. I'm doing my things. I am not being available after work for hanging out mostly on the weeknights because fuck it. I want to like focus on my shit or just take rest. Japan is coming. I don't know when, but getting out of this warehouse gig to some, I don't know what. Perhaps in some way saving money, or it could just be I feel like I might even wake up one day and be like, fuck it, I'm booking a flight, see ya. Like, that would be crazy. I feel like that's like a little unhinged. But it might be the unhinged I need. I do have a flight booked to San Francisco, but I feel like I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I have tickets for the Summit of Greatness by Lewis Howes. It's self-help, so like it could go either way. I really don't know if it's the right thing. Like past versions of me, like zero like gifts, but I'm like, self-help. I don't know. I don't really know who I am right now. There you go. I don't know who I am, what I stand for. I mean, I know like things I don't stand for. So there you have that. Coffee, café, para ti, señor. I'm also getting Spanish in the algorithm, but they're talking Spanish. Weirdly enough, I definitely understand Spanish. A little fun fact. I studied it in high school. It's similar enough to English. I could just listen. Similar to German. I think my language affinity is enough of a natural God-born gift that I can just be like, that's fine. Aside from something like Japanese, where the structure and everything is so different that you have to learn it. Although I am excited for going back to Japan and the language side, because I've done work on being present, and I think I'll be more open to just chatting and trying to chat more. But then also learning more, because I'm actively like listening. I'm a very quick learner. I think I'm a pretty quick learner, as the kids say. And I'm tired of giving people my energy, so we'll see where the energy goes. Almost at the work. We're going to make that turn. Why is there like 20 cars here? And by 20, I mean 30. But here we are. I'm gonna welcome my friend today too. We'll see what he's up to. I got a friend who literally is like 10-minute walk from here. He's an accountant from the Magic Days, and I walk with him because, well, I mean, like, why not walk? I walk on my lunch anyway, so why not walk with a friend? Conveniently, though, I have stopped walking with my other friends after, because I'm like, nope, like, time has come. I'm doing my thing, and there you have it. Because I am establishing those boundaries and working on me and doing stuff and being an efficient. Anyways, my friends, thank you for listening on my work drive on being efficient and life and Pokemon rants.